And the Taliban have taken over of Afghanistan post which President Ghani fled the country. In fact, the rapid turn of events have triggered fear and panic in the capital. Thousands of Afghans foreign nationals are trying to escape Kabul currently, and the Kabul airport, meanwhile, has been shut for commercial flights. Soon after taking control over the presidential palace, Taliban spokesperson said that the war is over in Afghanistan and also called for peaceful relationships with the international community. Meanwhile, the United Nations Security Council will be meeting today to discuss the situation unfolding in Afghanistan. In a statement, UN General Secretary said that the United Nations is deeply concerned about the situation in Afghanistan. After reports of the president leaving the country, Afghanistan Defense Minister tweeted that their hands were tied in the situation. In fact, as we were telling our viewers also, complete chaos is unfolding in capital city of Kabul. In fact, news agency AFP, while citing a witness, has said that US troops fired shots in air at Kabul airport as crowd mobs tarmac. In fact, you can also see some visuals which are coming in from Kabul airport. You can see mad rush to catch flight. In fact, we will also make you hear what we could listen from this particular visual and video. You can see the sound of firing in air by US troops. In fact, this was done basically to control the mad rush and the huge crowd at Kabul airport. Remember, Kabul airport is now shut for all commercial operations, and now the people have left with no option at all in their desperate bid to escape this chaos which is unfolding in Afghanistan and specifically in capital city of Kabul. In fact, to give more details on this, I'm now being joined by Srinjoy. So Srinjoy, we are getting some very concerning visuals from Kabul. In fact, the latest video that we are showing to our viewers is from Kabul airport, where we can see complete chaos, so much rush. There is no control over crowd at all. In fact, there is a report of firing also at this particular airport. These reports are pretty terrifying, but we can only imagine what Afghanis are going through currently. But if we talk specifically about Kabul airport, the decision to shut the commercial operations, how do you look at it? Was it a wise decision?
Well, simply enough, there is chaos all over the place. Nobody knows who is in charge. Nobody knows who's taking these decisions. Now, it is possible that the Americans want to get their people out, and they don't want anybody to come in the way. But the most important thing is that there appears to be a collapse of authority. Nobody knows who is actually taking all these decisions. So you would expect whoever is there to look at the chaos happening and saying, okay, no more flights. Maybe we don't know how long this will last. Maybe 2 days, maybe 3 days. The important point is India would be concerned because India wanted these Air India flights to continue. India wanted to get people out. We'll have to see what happens. Now, the point that has been made here is simple. It says no commercial flights. Now, what about special flights? That is something India and other countries are looking at and would have to look at for a while. The Americans, of course, are already in the business. They're doing what they have to. They have to get their people out. They have to get Afghans who help them. They have to get Afghans who appear to be, who will be targeted by the Taliban out. So they have a clear decision. They have a mandate from their president that you have to get every American citizen out. And that's exactly what they're doing. It's their responsibility to get their citizens out. Every country has that responsibility. So does India. And India will have to find a way to do it in the next 2 or 3 days.
My next question was about India's stand on this entire issue only, Srinjoy. There are a lot of talks over India's stand, or maybe we can say silence over the issue, while other nations are rushing in to evacuate their staff and their citizens from this war-ravaged country. There has been no such promptness shown or at least announced by the Indian government. So what do you make out of it, and what should be India's immediate response regarding ensuring safety of the citizens there?
Well, the plans are all there. the decisions have all been taken. It's just a matter of carrying it out. And I know that this is a live situation, and this will get done possibly in the next 2 or 3 days.
Okay. Right, Srinjoy, thank you for joining us and giving us all those details. So a lot of speculation going on, and an entire state of chaos is also unfolding in Kabul right now. There is a lot of speculation as to what India is going to do to ensure safe return of its citizens which are stuck in Afghanistan currently. But as Srinjoy was telling us, the plan has been made. In fact, it will be implemented in coming 2-3 days. We will be keeping a close eye on that, but we will get you some more details and some more updates coming in on this big story. The United States has decided to send more troops to Afghanistan over the next 2 days and also secure the air control traffic operations of Kabul airport. All US nationals have been evacuated from Kabul and sent back home. Russia, however, has no plans to evacuate its citizens, and instead they continue their operations in Kabul. The United Nations Security Council, meanwhile, has called for an urgent meeting today to discuss the situation.
Situation in Afghanistan always has. You look at the history, that is the story of Afghanistan. It is a tragic place. It is a tragic country that has borne such terrible hardships and catastrophes over a very long period of time. And sadly, that story continues. It's a terrible situation.
They're trying to do now is to concert the rest of the like-minded around the world, of whom there are a great many, to make sure that we don't prematurely, bilaterally recognise a new government in Kabul without forming a common view and setting the same conditions about how that government should behave.
In fact, the Afghanistan crisis has sparked a political fight in America also. Former US President Donald Trump has fired salvo at Biden government by calling collapse of Kabul without any resistance as one of the greatest defeats in American history. Donald Trump added that what Biden did was legendary. In fact, remember, earlier US President Joe Biden had shifted the onus on the erstwhile Trump administration for this entire chaos. He had said that the withdrawal deal was struck by Trump's administration in 2020 and hence his hands were tied. In fact, post this particular chaos and this entire political fight in US, we are also seeing protests breaking out in multiple cities across United States. While Afghan nationals staged a protest outside the White House blaming US President Biden over the chaos in Afghanistan. Meanwhile, at the East Coast, hundreds protested outside United Nations in New York calling to free Afghanistan from Taliban's control. While visuals from Afghanistan showcase the fear on ground, Afghan nationals in India speak out over the recent developments. While some fear for their family's safety, the others are upset with the Afghani government and world superpowers for abandoning them during the crisis.
During 15 or 14 days, they just could get all the provinces. My brothers, my mother, my sisters, all are there, and I'm also sad because of them that they are not in good situation. Like mentally, I can say that they are not in good situation. But better, I'm just sad because of one thing else as well, that no country helps us.
Right, so we have been getting voices from Afghanistan as well as those people who have returned from Afghanistan to India, and how they are narrating the ordeal, how they are narrating and giving a first-hand account of what is unfolding specifically in the capital city of Kabul. Remember, just yesterday, Taliban wrested control over capital Kabul, and chaos just unfolded in the entire city. In fact, we have been getting visuals from Kabul airport, also some recent video actually we caught hold of, and that clearly shows the kind of chaos and the kind of confusion that is prevailing on ground if we talk about Afghanistan's capital Kabul. We will be tracking all the updates that is coming in on this big story, but for now we are stepping into a very short break.